But let's start right at the beginning, as you as a child. Were you always tenacious? Did you always know what you wanted?
Don't really remember, really. I remember always wanting to create things and get involved in things, and I was very bad at school. Didn't really get any exams. Was in special needs for 5 years of secondary school, so I couldn't really blossom at school, really. But that was quite an academic school, but I did do well with anything with my hands. I was brought up to work hard for what I got. My dad was quite strict, and my mum was great, and grew up in a family business, which I think if you grow up in a family business, you know, it does give you sort of like extra skills that try and help you be resourceful and clever, and you know, you have to be, if you run a family business, you have to be a can-do person, not a can't-do person. I've never really had much time for cynical people because I think it's so easy. I've never really been inspired by doubters. I think it's easy. I do think sky's the limit. You know, I think the sky's the limit, and you can create and do anything. And you know, certainly, if you look at the challenge of school dinners, and we got it on the radar. And yeah, we're still halfway through a journey, but I know we'll get there in 7 years' time. We will. And even with my students at 15, you know, I don't believe there's such thing as a bad kid. I just think that there's kids that have gone wrong, you know, and actually if you give them mentoring and goals, and they feel like they can achieve stuff, then they can start applying that to their life and think that they've got something they can offer. And you know, I'm in a really exciting time now, 7 years after 15 was created. We're in 4 countries now, 3 countries and 4 restaurants, and I just actually employed one of our second-year students and appointed him as sous chef in Kingston restaurant. And sous chef is second in command, but actually the sous chef's the one that does all the real graft. You know, the head chef does more organising and management. So you know, to be able to do that in 5 years is great. You know, and I think, yeah, I have a funny way of looking at stuff. Jamie's World, it's a funny place.
Did they try and encourage you to be better, or did they just sweep you to the side?
No, I went into special needs classes, which is about 4 kids that went up, had special extra classes and stuff, and yeah, my teachers were lovely, but I don't think that we were as strategically as advanced as we are now. I think we're much better at it now, but also we didn't recognise dyslexia. It was like an on-off button. You're either dyslexic and you had to literally be looking through 2-inch glasses, or you're not. And I think, you know, now we know that there's many forms of it, and I don't think I'm deeply held back by dyslexia, but I mean, undoubtedly I've got it. But you know, I think I was given all the support for the time, and it just wasn't my place to shine, really. I had a kid come up to me the other day, and he can't. Sometimes you read about stuff like this, but you don't exist that it's a real emotion. And this kid must have been about 10, and he came up to me and said, "I heard you're dyslexic." And I said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "Have you ever felt that you're worth nothing?" And I'm like, "No. Why? Why do you think? Do you feel that?" And he's like, "Yeah." That's the stage when you got to start worrying, because it doesn't, you know, being dyslexic or having any special needs is not an excuse or a reason for you to not prosper. It's just that you're not going to be good at the predictable things. But, you know, I mean, there's wonderful people in business and architecture and art and music that have had learning difficulties. But I think what that kid was tapping into is that every single one of us need to feel like we're good at something. Otherwise, we feel like, you know, and he obviously did. So I had a little pep talk with him anyway for sort of 10 minutes, and hopefully it made a difference. I told him to come and see me when he was 16. I said, "I'll give you a job." Really what I'm talking about is self-esteem, and that, you know, that can be relevant to anyone regardless of dyslexia or not, really. But you know, we all need a pat on the back every now and again, don't you? And it's like, you know, half the time I do these Ministry of Food things, there are days, weeks and months when I feel physically sick every day, wondering what my mouth has got me in trouble for this time. I think deep down you can do these things that cause debate and problems if truly you feel that you're being honest and clear and fair, and that there's a genuine reason for expressing it. And I do. So therefore I hold my head high and I'm take anything you give me.